The National Security in the Oti Region has organized a day's sensitization workshop for youth groups in the region on the need to be security conscious and also avoid extremist groups that would threaten the peace and security of the nation. The youth groups whose leaders represented them at the workshop were drawn from the various political parties, the artisans, students, teachers, and the health service, among others. The National Commission for Civic Education (NCCE) organized the program for the national security. The acting regional director for NCCE, Clement Kwesi Tete Mamadou, told Joy News the workshop across the various 8 districts in the region has enlightened the participants, especially on the Public Order Act, where most participants have little or no idea.
NCCE, if you look at Chapter 19 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, its mandate says to enlighten the citizens on their rules in bringing national unity, in that matter, national cohesion, for which this project stands for. So I think partnering national security is just for us to smoothly implement one of our functions of the Commission as stated in the 1992 Constitution of Ghana.
What has been the response so far from interacting with those you've organized the workshop for?
I would say so far we have done, this is the 7th district that I have been to. And in the presentations from national security and the police and sometimes the judges or the magistrates that we have, you see that citizens are more enlightened, especially in their rules and personal security. We have looked at the Public Order Act, which some of us, I'll say some citizens have ignored for years been. But presentations from the magistrates and the police in that regard has enlightened citizens for them to know if they are doing a gathering, what they are supposed to do, and if they have not done that, what are the fines or the implications on that. And some of them were happy, some have even heard the Public Order Act for the first time. They did not know that even if you have joined a gathering, a demonstration, a float, and you have destroyed any public property, you could be charged. If the organizers have not paid, you who have been fined there is also liable for that payment. They do not know. So I think they have been enlightened, and going forward, I believe that the Public Order Act will be more functional, if not in that case. We have also looked at the Vigilantism Act, and you could see that in the era in which we are now, the youth, I would say, are so attracted to things of that nature, especially when they have been given no curfew, to come together and probably express their grievances or even follow the one-man show, I would say.
He has called on individuals and organizations in the region who have the capacity to support the Commission to come to their aid in coming months.
Resource-wise, I would say we are better off. In days or in times like this, I would say that we are better off. Although we don't have all the resources and logistics for us to be active all the time, but I can see, or I can say that we are better off. You could see I came in Nissan MP300. Well, in the days or years past, I would have come here with a motorbike. That would be the best. But now, resource-wise, we have been empowered a little. And like you said, this empowerment came through the Ministry of National Security. We have other activities related to this project that we have done today. We'll be going to information centers. In every district, we have visited 10 information centers to speak on the messages of peace and national cohesion. In the month of September also we carried out community activities. In the month of October we'll do same. So from now up to October, I believe there are funds for us to carry out these activities. From October going, I need to at least divide ways so that at least November, December, people should also hear of this activity in the districts or region in which I operate. So with your support and the medium you are giving us, if anybody wants to support NCC in this regard, I believe that the businessmen, women who are in Oti Region, they can come and support us so that at least we will drum home this message to the letter, where every citizens get to know what security issues are and how we must live in national cohesion.
The acting chief executive for KJB District, Maxwell Asidu, said the workshop has come at the right time where there seems to be insecurity in the system. He also said the workshop would aid the participants to restrain themselves from joining extremist groups.
This workshop has come at the right direction, in the sense that it seems to be insecurity in the system. where terrorism and other things are now the order of the day. And so it seeks to enlighten the youth to be able to restrain themselves from insecurity and other issues. And so it's a right thing they are doing, and I believe it is going to go a long way to help the youth to restrain themselves from involving themselves in these activities.
Advising the youth, the DCE urged the youth to take education seriously, and those who may not be doing well formally should consider any gainful employment, such as farming, where government is supporting farmers through the Planting for Food and Jobs program.
The youth in particular should, in the first place, go to school. They should be able to go to school so at the end they will be gainfully employed. If they're not able to go to school, they should find something to do, especially handiworks, and also go into farming. The government has made it so easy that everybody who wants to go to farming can easily go. We have this Plan for Food and Job and other things, and so going to farming is not so difficult again. And so if you don't work and you're a youth, you can go into farming and you'll be able to fend for yourself.
The local council of churches, who were also represented by their chairperson, Vincent Dakbo, said the peace the country is experiencing could not be taken for granted, seeing the rising cases of armed robbery, killings, economic hardship, and threats of terror, among others.
In recent times, the things we see, things we hear, the utterances of some of our leaders from the major political parties, tension in the system as a result of economic hardship, sensationist tourism, young people from Ghana joining jihad groups, armed robberies, killing here and there is now posing a serious threat to every survival of our dear nation and the peace enjoying over the years.
He hopes the workshop would be used to brainstorm the best ways of preventing the youth from joining terror groups to destabilize the nation.
That's the reason why we have gathered here to brainstorm, strategize, and especially see how best we can bring our youth on board so to arrest this emerging threat.
For national security, Ghana does not live in isolation of other nations, hence the need to nip in the bud any threats before it comes up. For the units, activities around the country's borders call for concern. Nana Afrem-Daku, the National Security Coordinator for Oti Region, cited developments in Burkina Faso and the Sahel region as examples of why there is the need to sensitize the youth on dangers of availing themselves for participation in any of these terror groups or becoming mercenaries.
The country Ghana does not live in isolation. Whatever happens in the other African countries surrounding us has indirect or direct effect on the country. If you know what happened recently in Chad, where the president was assassinated, his brother was replaced, the rebels there are not happy. You know what's happening within the Sahel, where Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, they are recruiting militants there fighting against their government. Ghana share border with Burkina Faso. Obviously, intelligence gathering requires that we engage our youth, because the focus of this recruitment has always been on the youth. So we need to engage our youth. We need to let them understand the dynamics of international relations, international politics, and what is happening, so they don't get themselves involved.
According to the National Security Coordinator, the national security strategy has changed from just protecting the territories of the country to include some levels of international politics and more of human-centered.
And also take the opportunity to explain to them the national security strategy, where the security of our country has moved from interstate or protecting the state's sovereignty and its territorial integrity to where we are human-centered. And this human-centered way of doing what we call international politics and for that matter security has to do with food security, economic security, environmental security, you understand that, and etc., etc. These are things that will alleviate most of our youth from poverty. And if they understand the dynamics and the consequences of the actions, where the minority or the weak in the system, the women, children suffer the most, you know, they will not get themselves involved. If they have a good promise that look, this country is focused on providing their basic needs as a security need, you know, they will really understand, and then going forward we want to help build a better Ghana.
Nana Afrimdaku said joblessness among the youth is a major concern for national security, hence the new national security strategy to address these concerns.
It is always a concern in national security. I'm a security man, I don't do politics. What you will see is like if perhaps there's the enabled environment for people to get employed, they would. If they don't have the issue, then obviously it raises security concerns. Job security is one of the issues concerning human security. So obviously, yes. But if you read that, if you look at the policy very well, you understand that the national security strategy is meant to create an enabling environment where the youth can engage. Your rights are protected. We are the democracy. You can add them out. There are other avenues by which you can channel your concerns.
So, going forward, what one advice would you want to give to the youth to stay off these extremist groups and then violent crimes in the community?
Our president has shown us that this vigilantism doesn't pay. It always ends bad for those who get themselves involved. You look at ISIS, you know what is happening, it doesn't pay. We should channel our resources towards the productive end of this country, where the youth will be engaged in meaningful employment, where there will be security for them, where they can also contribute to national agenda. So stay away from it, stay away from it, stay off, it doesn't pay. And I know that the security apparatus in the country is strong. We'll come after you, we'll fish you out, and then you'll be an embarrassment on your own country.
But how do you see the workshop?
Yeah, it's a nice program. We were exposed to a lot of things we didn't know. The program has really expanded our minds on terrorism and extremism issues.
And so what do you suggest going forward national security does in terms of ensuring peace and security in the community, seeing that this is even a border community?
There should be time-to-time programs like this organized so that different people can also have access to it. Though we have also been educated to go and educate our various institutions. And also the patrols that are ongoing should be more.
We just learned about peaceful cohesion and how to be self-conscious as far as security is concerned, that we should be careful and observe whoever comes in and goes out of our communities so that we can report to the appropriate authority.
I have learned that as students we should not involve ourselves in violence. Maybe if a politician comes to us and tells us to come for a rally, maybe for money, we shouldn't involve ourselves because it can lead to the loss of our lives. We should concentrate on our books so that at the end of the day we become useful adults in the future.
My name is Peter Senu for Joy News.